right there. Absolutely smoked it. No idea how many fish we caught today. Been an absolute ton. Got him right there. That's gonna be a better fish. That's the one we've been waiting for right there. Alright guys, we are back with another video today. We are out here nice and early, me, my good buddy Dax, and we are chasing some early ice walleyes. Now, normally we always make a trip a couple days before Christmas. Where?
We love going to Mille Lacs for first ice, but unfortunately...
No ice.
Tom sold his boat, mine's in storage, and we could probably fish on open water out there.
Yeah. The only way you're catching a walleye out there right now where we normally go is on a boat. So with that being said, we traveled a little bit farther north, fished a little bit yesterday. Today we're gonna hopefully catch a whole bunch of nice walleyes, doing a bunch of jigging. Had to travel a little bit farther north. I'm not gonna talk too much because I want to get to drilling some holes and fishing. So stay tuned. Let's catch a whole bunch of fish. Let's make it happen. All right, holes are drilled. Now, we're fishing like a big basin area with a big flat where fish are just kind of like gonna be roaming here, roaming there. More than likely, we'll probably have to jump around, move a few times today, and kind of run around when things get slow. And a lot of times on these big flats, you kind of got two options. One would be move around, try to chase those fish. The other would be sit and wait for the fish to funnel through. And I obviously like chasing fish down. I know Dax is the same way. But especially at these primetime hours, I'm probably going to start with two aggressive baits and fish a lot of these big reaction style baits today. One would be the Acme V-Rod in an 1/8 and a 1/4. Big bait, calls out to fish. I can work it aggressive, don't need any bait. The other one, a bigger Acme Hyper Rattle, big glide bait. One that both these baits I can work up high, call fish in from a distance, kind of siphon through some of those smaller fish, and hopefully just get the bigger, more aggressive bites. So that's kind of the plan. We'll probably start out doing some hole hopping, then we'll probably set up the shack if we get on a bunch of fish. It's not that cold, but it's super windy today. Got him right there. That's gonna be a better fish. That's the one we've been waiting for right there. Man, did that fish ever come in and play around. This is definitely the size we're looking for though. Come on, bud. Come on, buddy. Man, that fish was marking so weird. Where are you at? Where are you at? This is a lot of times what you can kind of expect when you kind of are fishing a bigger bait. Yeah, 'cause I either got a big walleye or a big pout. It's a big walleye, I think. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. You absolutely smoked that thing. I can't tell if it's a walleye or an eel pout. I think it actually is a big eel pout. Big eel pout, I think, is what we got here. Oh yeah, it is. Here it comes. Here it comes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, flip that thing on once. Well, this is one way to start it off for me. I've just kind of been fishing a real big bait, and that fish marks so weird. I figured it kind of was either going to be a big walleye or a big pout. And sure enough, it is a big eel pout. There's old Mr. Whiskers trying to come up the hole here. Fish bit halfway up the water column, Dax. This is always where they're hard to grab, isn't it?
Yeah.
We'll get him up though. He's got that bait pretty good.
Look at the size of that son of a gun.
Oh, come here, you buddy. Got him. That's a nice chunky one, isn't it? That's all right. We got this one going too. He literally smoked that thing halfway down the water column after he came in and played around with it. Oh, there we go. Or there's really no great way to show these things off, is there? But look at that big old girthy eel pout right there, man. That is one of the cool parts about, you know, fishing this area, obviously, is that you can tangle with some of these guys. Big old belly on them. There we go. We'll let them go. Maybe we'll catch a walleye next time. Always such an interesting fish.
That's cool.
Oh, that's cool. Now my hands are cold. Well, that's one way to get it going, I guess. Got him right there. That one's feeling all right. Kind of came in slow off the bottom, but when he finally, I just kind of started bouncing that blade bait in place. He bit it pretty good. What do we got here? Oh yeah, nice walleye. Nice walleye right there. That is what you're after, my friends. Look at it. He just barely kind of stung it. We'll take them all that are built like that, man. I mean, that is a nice fish on the blade bait, on a jig rod, anywhere you're gonna go. Super gold, man. Look how happy and hardy those fish are. And that is just exactly what we're after. When you get in a little wave of them, it is definitely on. That is what I'm talking about. See you later, little homie. I wish we had old Mitchell here for his insane camera work, but unfortunately he got sick on the road, and he's got about 3 videos to edit before he's allowed to come back onto the ice. Right there. Oh, absolutely charged up a bit, man. Feeling all right. He's feeling all right. When he's finally decided to go, he really bit good. Oh yeah, nice walleye. And I have not put a piece of live bait on today. It's a lot of little kind of tips and tricks you can do to just not have to use live bait. You know, basically the way I grew up fishing was you always had to tip your walleye thing with a minnow head, right? In reality, not true at all. Obviously there's some situations where it's probably beneficial, and one of those is fishing a bigger aggressive bait up high. The other one, like we're doing here, this one actually came on a Castmaster spoon, which he obviously just absolutely annihilated. Here we go. A beautiful 17-inch walleye right there. I'll let you go. See you later, buddy. One thing I really like is these little bladed trebles. And you can see that, and a lot of times the fish aren't super charged up. You just need something at the bottom of the spoon for the fish to key on. Could be a chunk of hair, could be a plastic, could be a little piece of bladed, like just that little spinner blade on there, just something dancing on the end like that, where when they see it, they essentially know there's something there to key on. There's actually another fish down there right now. I don't know if he's going to bite or if we can get down to him quick enough here, but we're about to find out. The Castmaster went way out of the cone here. We'll see if he comes back in. But a lot of times you can get away without fishing live bait just by doing a few of these things. Fish a big aggressive bait up high. Go to something on that bottom treble, piece of plastic, a blade, something like that, and then really play keep away. It's harder to catch them without live bait if you're just sitting there very still and just like doing this, because then they're going to get a long time to look at that. So when you get a fish coming up, a lot of times what you really want to do is pull it away from that fish. Oh man, this one's all over. He actually tried to bite it for a second. But you can see how I'm really playing a lot of keep away with this one. Like that. And a lot of times you're going to get those fish 9 times out of 10 to bite with no live bait on. But if you sit down there right at the bottom of the lake and you're just barely moving that spoon around, be a little sauger here. A lot of times it's going to be tough to get those fish to bite without a piece of meat on there. Alright guys, so obviously we're catching just a whole bunch of fish today, and kind of want to go through a little bit of the baits we're using and things like that, and kind of my thought process when I'm choosing a bait based on a lot of times the time of day or where I'm fishing or whatever it might be. So there's kind of 3 baits we're catching a bunch of fish on. We'll kind of start with the most subtle option, and a lot of times you might see in the middle of the day you might have to go more subtle or whatever it might be, right? Could be a little weather change that comes through, and this one is the 1/8 ounce rattling Castmaster in kind of that tiger glow color, just with that little spinner blade back on there. No bait needed. Now this bait, I can walk it in place very soft and slow. I don't need to have a lot of action on the rod to make the bait do something. I could put a minnow head on here if I really had to, but the main thing is, as a fish comes in, I don't need to work this bait very hard to make it do a lot to get bites, right? That's kind of the key when you're talking about a little bit more lethargic fish, let's say, right? Most time I'm fishing this, working it pretty aggressive, trying to draw attention to it. The second I see fish come in, hard knock, and I'll just lift away from them. I don't just let it sit there and let that fish really inspect it. I try to make them chase, especially without any bait on there. The other option, more aggressive option, this is the middle size of the Acme Hyper Rattle. Same kind of color pattern there, obviously, but this is a big heavy lead bait that is definitely more aggressive. As I kind of get this thing hopping and moving, you know, I'll kind of do a lot of this with my rod, makes that bait do that wide glide out and swing. The second I have fish come in, I'll slow that down a little bit and just kind of work it away from a little bit, get that bait kind of hopping out, hopping here, and coming back to the center line. This bait also don't need to fish with any bait, so if those fish get a little bit more aggressive, I can go to something like this. It's also a great bait for hole hopping, because I can just fly through, fire it down to the bottom, gets down really fast, work it aggressive, see what comes into the screen, and obviously kind of make a decision from there. If they bite it, I'll keep it on. If they don't, I'll change baits. The other bait, which is very aggressive, is the Acme V-Rod. Now this is obviously a blade bait. It has a super tight, hard, knocky shimmy. This one's all full of teeth marks from the last day, and this bait has just been an awesome bait so far this winter for me. But the thing with this bait, also doesn't need to have any minnow head on it or any live bait. In fact, that would kill the action of the bait. So I'll fish this totally blank, just like this. Most of the time I'll fish this bait, I'll give it kind of these bigger pulls like this, quick pulls, lifts with the rod, makes that bait do that classic kind of feeling to the rod tip. The second fish come in, I'll go to this hard knock like this and pull it away from them, and that makes this bait just kind of dance head to tail. You're gonna see that bait doing a lot of this when you're just doing that hard knock, and as it's pulling away, that's when a lot of times you'll get that big swinging up bite. So that'd be like the most aggressive option. It has the most amount of calling power to it. It's very visual, puts out a lot of vibration, and because of that, if fish are very aggressive or jacked up, it makes sense to go with something big and aggressive like this that those fish can feel from a long ways away. So those are kind of the three baits we're fishing a whole bunch: the spoon, the Hyper Rattle, and the V-Rod, and we're catching fish on all three of those today. Middle of the day seemed a little bit more the spoon. Morning definitely seemed the aggressive things. We're catching a lot of fish for me. Dax is on. I like that. And as you can see, he's catching plenty over here. We're definitely having ourselves a day.
Oh man.
I mean, unknown numbers of fish have been caught. Oh yeah, another nice walleye there. Look at him. Oh yeah, nothing wrong with those, huh? Not at all. Just barely touched it too, didn't he? And he finally did.
Yeah, I seen him on the flasher and he was flaring good, and I was like, ooh, this has got to be a good one.
Yeah, that is a nice fish.
Yeah, those are nice. Okay. See you, buddy.
See you later.
Nice little wave goodbye.
Smoking them. Dax got that same spoon on all day. The old rattling Castmaster, green tiger front, gold back with the rattle, upsized treble, and just tipping it like that. Oh, here we go. Got him right there. Feeling all right. Feeling like the right kind here. Fishing with a stiffer rod, so even though it might not look super big, it's feeling like she's got some weight to her. Bigger than 14 inches, I can tell you for sure of that. Kind of came up, got into the cone here. Oh, come on, bud. Can see him right there at the bottom. There we go. Oh man, look at that one. Look at that one. That is what we're after right there. Dude, look how he T-boned that thing. He kind of came in slow, but once he committed, man, he absolutely jumped all over that thing. Hooked inside the mouth, outside the mouth, but we got him. And that is one of the big things that I see on a lot of these lakes where you're trying to essentially call out to larger fish. Having a larger bait on that calls fish in is a lot of times just an absolute game changer. There's just super nice chunky walleye right there. A couple big bangs at the hole. Are we fogged up or are we good? There we go. Look at that. Beautiful walleye right there, man. I'll let that guy go. But that is kind of the reward of a lot of this. You know, we moved around several times, running through some different stuff. Small fish here, no fish here. Pulled into this spot and immediately started marking fish. And that is a nice walleye anywhere you go through the ice. There we go. Let her go. And hopefully do it many more times. See you later, girl. Another thing, if you're gonna fish big aggressive baits to the ice, you need a rod that allows you to work this bait really well. This is a 45-inch medium extra fast. It's kind of my big reaction bait walleye rod that I'll fish big blade baits on, big jigging wraps, big hyper rattles. It lets me work that bait without kind of being overpowered. As you can see, I don't have a ton of tip play, but it's very nice and soft right here where it matters. So not only do you get a lot of that good bait working action, but you get enough forgiveness for when you're landing a bigger fish. It doesn't just school you at the hole like just a very short, stiff rod would. So that's kind of the rod we're using for a lot of this big reaction bait stuff. Fish out. Man, he kind of sat there for a second and then absolutely rifled up to get the hyper rattle, dude. That one was looking like he was going to be sluggish, but then ended up really committing to that thing. Just another nice keeper size walleye if you're going to keep one. It's kind of the deal, man. It's kind of the deal. Catching just an absolute pile of these things today. And when they're eating a hyper rattle like that, they're about it. And I think a lot of people don't have a ton of confidence fishing these bigger baits through the ice especially. But obviously, even just kind of your average eater size fish, no questions about it, they will eat those things. See you later, buddy. Here we go. Oh yeah. Got him. Right there. Not feeling super big, not feeling bad though. Where you at, bud? We're in leader. Come here, buddy. Just want to take a look at you. Oh yeah, nice walleye. Real nice walleye right there. On the old hyper rattle. Bouncing around outside. Just kind of changing between real aggressive baits. And hopefully you guys are kind of enjoying the flasher cam as well. Figure we might as well rig that up real quick. But this bait is obviously one of the staples of my outside hole hopping walleye fishing, mainly because it's so heavy and it just shoots down through that slush so fast. You can get a bait down there quick, work it aggressive, calls around a lot, and that one absolutely choked it, man. There we go. Nice, probably 17-18er right there. I'll let him go, man. We are absolutely on some fish today, no doubt about that. One color that you can't go wrong with anywhere. Glow perch, yellow perch, whatever you want to call it. Kind of this real natural perch pattern. Almost everywhere walleyes live, there's a whole bunch of perch, and this kind of glow perch pattern works good in clear water, I found, works good in this kind of tea stain water we're fishing today. That one obviously had zero complaints. All right, we are loaded up back in the truck. Tons of fish today.
Unbelievable amounts of fish.
Crazy. I mean, if it was 70, 80, or 100, I wouldn't know the difference right now. Caught an absolute pile of them.
Yeah, we probably marked twice as many as that.
Yeah, tons of fish. Hopefully you guys kind of enjoyed watching this one. It was fun to make, caught a lot of fish. Hopefully you guys I don't know if this is going out before Christmas or after Christmas, but hopefully you guys are going to have or are having a great Christmas. We'll be back on the ice starting in the new year, filming a whole bunch more walleye fishing and ice fishing content across the Midwest. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. We're going to peel out, head home. It was a good day.
Absolutely.
And we'll see you guys next time.